Okay, Lynn, let's get started. For the purpose of everybody who hasn't met you before and doesn't know you, and people that are watching this, right? Introduce yourself a little bit about you, your background, how you got started, and and we'll start from there.
Sure. Well, hi everyone. I know many of you. It's good to see you. Uh, I've been wanting to come on these nights, but as you know, I've had to talk to Elsa. Priorities are never in conflict, right? So, but I'm glad I'm here tonight. I'm really happy that Elsa asked me to do this tonight because actually it's cathartic sort of to be able to listen to her. Like I'm getting teary-eyed because I remember exactly how I felt. But let me just go my background. I've been in network marketing for a total of 8 years. So I'm still a baby compared to many, many people out there. And when I started because I thought it was going to be cool. I was going to make a little bit of money, and it actually was going to give me something great to do. Because prior to finding network marketing 8 years ago, I was the president of a nonprofit called Narcotics Overdose Prevention and Education because I had lost my daughter 7 years before that. Many of you who have been here know me know that. So that was sort of my background at that point in my life, was really pouring into trying to help people understand that they could prevent through education, hopefully prevent what I went through in their own lives. Prior to that, I was married. I've been married to my husband for 30 years. His name is Daryl. He was a former Major League Baseball pitcher and coach. So my life when I met him became all about that. But I will go backwards a little bit.
That's okay.
My, yeah, let me just go backwards. I'll just tell you
Yeah,
all my story backwards and then we'll reverse engineer it and go forwards.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so when I graduated high school, I had had a severe injury to my ankle, but prior to that, I was a volleyball player and was going to go to the University of Alabama on a full ride. I had my whole life planned. This is going to be part of the whole thing. Like my whole life was planned, that straight line, just like Elsa just said. And but one little blip in the road, one little toe down on someone tore my ankle up, and I lost my scholarship. So I pivoted and went to our local college and went for business education and went to work for a restaurant and quickly realized that I had the personality, I had the grit, I had all the things you need to do that kind of stuff. And I escalated into management. And so I sort of went into that field. I helped launch Outback Steakhouse. If any of you have ever heard of Outback Steakhouse, which was started to be 3 restaurants, I was part of that. And then it went global. And I was part of that. I never went global traveling with it, but I opened restaurants all over the country and spent a lot of time doing that until I met my husband and we decided that we wanted to get married. So that's sort of my background. Now, as far as network marketing, I'd never done it before. I had been one of those people that got a membership because thought I could get it cheaper, but I never really grew anything. I never really saw a future in network marketing for myself.
I love it. I love it. And do you remember when we first started working together?
Mhm.
One of the things that you really didn't, you loved working in person,
Mhm.
right? And Lynn is a natural networker and loves connecting with people in person. And the disconnect for her, as we all know, is that in this day and age is social media. And so I was helping her to start to, appreciate social media and how she could use that as a way of, well, when she connected with people, she had a presence there. So it kind of confirmed who she was as the person that she presented. So we started there. So it was literally just a confirmation. And then when there was a pivotal moment, do you remember that? In July 2024, we'd been working for a year at that time. And I
Yes, I
remember it
know that day
clearly.
very well.
Yeah, me too, because I got the message saying, I've been doing a lot of thinking, da 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 da, right? Um, and I want to go there, and then we're going to come back again because I want to go there first because I want people to know that they're going to have down moments, they're going to have blips, they're going to have moments where they'll second guess everything. Like I'm sure some people on the Zoom might appreciate this, where you wake up one day and you go, I don't even know if I can do this. I don't even know if I'm ready for this. Could I really do this? Do people really believe what I'm saying? Because I know I'm the real deal, but maybe I'm not really made up for this, right? And so Lynn has had that moment, but it was a real big one. And I remember saying this to her, saying, "You have no idea what's coming. You have no idea, you know, all the things that are going to unfold as a direct result of you moving forward from this moment." I want you to talk about, maybe not so much in detail about what led to that moment, but
Mhm.
some of the things, because this is the stuff that you were challenged with up until that moment, very normal, I think, across any business type, right? In terms of leadership, in terms of some of the personality, without going to, just leadership
Mhm.
stuff, self leadership, how it affected you, and then how you move from there.
Sure. So the time that she's talking about, my husband and I went on a vacation, and it was like a 6 week vacation. And I knew that I could still work my business while I was on the road, but I started second guessing whether or not this was what I should be doing because I didn't know how effective. Wow, this is going to be hard. I thought it was going to be easy, but I really just didn't have a lot of confidence that I had been that effective in building a team. I had built, to a rank 6 in my business, which was a champion, a car bonus champion. I mean, it's actually the top, what, 5% in the industry builds to that. And I still didn't think I was successful.
Yes.
And I still didn't understand that every day I kept going forward was truly success. And every time I came across a bump in the road and overcame it and kept going forward, it was a success. And I came back from that trip somewhat defeated and said, I've decided that I'm just going to coast with this. And I make, at that point I was making 3 or 4 thousand dollars a month. And I was like, if I can just keep doing that, I'm just going to accept that because this is really emotionally very challenging. And I'm tougher than that. And also let me understand and help me to understand um, really what I was doing was just letting myself off the hook and giving myself a way out and to not be to not fail. I wasn't failing. I was just letting myself off the hook. Anybody ever felt like that? I don't know about y'all, but you
Yeah.
know, I was looking for a way out without quitting
Yeah.
totally, but yet quitting on myself. So that day was a pivotal, very, very much so. Our conversation, she just basically like turned off the recording and sat there with me and said, you need to listen to me because you do not see what I see. You see, I remember this, right? What I see and what other people see. And by the end of that conversation, I told her I was going to think about it because I wasn't going to go, oh, yeah, you're right, let's go. I told her I wanted to think about it. And I knew I wasn't going to quit at that point. But again, I wanted to just make sure. So, um, you know, all of the things that happened along at that point, I had been in 6 years, just under 6 years. And all of the things that happened from the day I started to that 6 year mark, all started just coming at me. And I started thinking, I did overcome that. I rebuilt that. Oh, I had a great relationship with that person. And you know what? She worked with me and she went off and opened 3 salons, which was her dream. She made enough money with me to go do that. And I started thinking about the wins. And Elsa pointed me to those wins that I buried. So every time now, when I start doubting myself, I send a message to Elsa and say, help. No, she's there. But my point is that I've overcome a lot in my life from my childhood all the way through my life, losing my daughter, rebuilding. And my whole goal with this was to help people see that they can overcome and they can make whatever it is out of their life that they want, no matter what they've been through, no matter what hardships. And so now I just say, don't even think about that. I mean, I don't know how, I don't know. Every challenge is different, but mostly it's just let's look at the win side of it because there's a reason this is happening and keep going forward. And there's no way to lose in your business except quitting.
Yeah, and I know that up until that point, I don't want to put words into your mouth, but you'd experience let's just say personality
Yeah.
challenges like with team
Yeah. I,
members, up and down,
yeah.
like uplines and downlines,
Mhm.
customers, right?
Mhm.
External networking agencies as
Sure.
well. I mean, and
Yeah.
for those of you who have ever experienced any adversity like building a network marketing or even having your own coaching business where people have doubted you, I mean, Lynn faced one of the most like really toughest times where somebody that had promoted her and like to come into a networking like so some networking organizations like somebody has to invite you in, right?
Mhm.
And the very person that advocated and referred Lynn into this networking group so Lynn could build leads. It was all around helping each other, the businesses to grow.
Mhm.
Was one of the people that actually wanted her out in the end because they were too intimidated by Lynn, right? I
I'm
know,
not
right?
intimidating.
And and they were also like not sure about network marketing, the whole thing about network marketing, like it was a scam. And so
Yeah.
I just want you to know that I mean Lynn is well and truly on her way to building this $1 million per cashier business now. Like
Mhm.
this literally cannot be stopped. And I say that, and Lynn's not even feeling pressure because she already knows that this is the truth, right, from where she sits. But my point is that every single person that you know that is out there that have achieved levels has experienced exactly the same things, like all the same things. Like people have doubted them, people have said bad things about them, negative things about them. They themselves have doubted themselves, right?
Right.
So then we fast forward. Actually, let's go back for a minute.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you've achieved rank 6, right?
Uh,
And
yes.
yes, that is true that in terms of network marketing and even literally in just, I think, businesses online, whether it's coaching, digital marketing, whatever, I think the equivalent of rank 6 is like the top 5% in businesses because, I mean, most people don't stay long enough, I think, to actually achieve the result. Because
Right.
it's about having the result now. But like with you having achieved it so quickly, and what were some of the challenges that you faced from that point on once you achieved it? Because then once we started working together, I think you started to realize why things happen. So can you talk through just maybe two or three
Sure.
things?
Sure. I think this is what you're asking me is first and foremost, one of the most challenging parts of network marketing is the hamster wheel of maintaining attrition. And I didn't understand that when I started. And I also was very much taught from my mentors from the very beginning, and our pretty much our entire team was that we're out there selling our product. We're out there selling our product. And there was no real network marketing, um, you know, business acumen or understanding the network marketing business, if you will, the industry. There was really nothing taught about that, so I was constantly on that hamster wheel trying to keep my business where it was, so that flatlined me. Right, go down
Yeah,
a little bit, get it back up, go down a bit. So that's in any industry, right? Elsa, I mean, would you agree it's like this,
100%.
right? And then then
100%.
it's this, and then it's all the way down and you start over.
Yep.
And people don't talk about that
Nope.
in the industry as much as I'm very, very proud that I'm talking about it in our company.
Yep.
I'm very, very proud that I'm talking about where I was and where I am now and how to get through that. However, that was challenging. The not having steady income, it being up and down, up and down. All of the trying to bring a person on in my business as a promoter, whether it was direct to me or 5, 7 levels below me, just trying to have systems in place for them, trying to have continuity on a team. It was challenging.
Yep.
And what I immediately started learning when I joined the inner circle, and I don't remember if that was exactly what it was called when I started,
Yep.
but when I joined, was that there was training every week with Elsa that made me go, I can take this to my team.
Yep.
I can use that in this situation. Aha. That's when we get to mastery, right? You say,
Yeah.
aha.
Yeah.
You recognize it before it happens. And I absolutely will say, I've had great mentors in my business. They millionaires, multimillionaires. I am like 2 steps below the CEO. It's not like I didn't have mentoring, but I didn't have the kind that I needed to feel successful. I didn't have what I needed from them. And what I found with Elsa was she could see the gap. And it's amazing what she can see. And she could see the gap, and then she could help me like cross the chasm of that gap
Yeah.
and fill it in. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that was where you wanted me to go, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
because all the things that you spoke about, what you were experiencing, especially like systems, for example, I don't think
Mhm.
people really understand the importance of systems in repeatable income, right? Which is
Right.
why I talk about, for example, ladies, the six-figure content machine. That's a repeatable marketing system. You don't have to figure anything out. You just replicate that. The six-figure sales system. That's a six-figure repeat, like a repeatable sales system. Do you understand? And so by having systems in place, you're just removing the guesswork of how to do things. You just know how to do things, right? So that
Right.
that was one of the things. The other thing is um, being invested where you invest, right? Lynn has been an action taker from day one, and even sometimes where I've because I tailor strategies to your individual businesses, and the strategies that I've given for her seems crazy to. So there's been a couple of times where Lynn's gone, okay, I'm going to do it. Okay,
Yep.
right. But she does it
Right.
and then it pays off. And she goes, wow, like I see
Right.
now, I can see the connection. And, and I want you to take that away because what's happened with, with one particular strategy that we did with Lynn's business specifically for her, because what I wanted to do was to showcase her leadership. And she did that for an extended period of time after that pivotal moment.
Yeah.
And what happened, Lynn, not long after, when you implemented that marketing strategy that was specifically for your business?
Well, I went from being, and I won't say my business what it is. If you
No.
know me, you know me. But my product, I went from being a product salesperson to a business owner. I always thought I was a bit, I mean, I always treated my business like $1 million business. That was the other thing. Like when I started, I was like, this is $1 million business. I have to treat it like that. So every day I treated it like that. But I really started seeing that there was a whole nother side to this. And it was team building and it was leadership and it
Yep.
was being my authentic self and not
Yeah.
um, following the leader and building my own and it started attracting my tribe. I started
Yes.
saying I attract and I am looking for high achieving men and women who want to have the second half of their life be the best half of their life, and then on and on. So I just started that, and all of a sudden, I mean all of a sudden, and this is not manifestation woo woo stuff, although we do woo woo stuff,
Yeah.
I do anyway. um it was literally people started popping up, and one person that I had wanted to be on my team for 3 years came to an event and left that event as a promoter with me, and then took off like the person I knew he would take off as. I work with men and women, and it exploded my business, which ignited everything to go to the next level because Elsa said you are a leader. Start acting like one and tell your CEO that you are, and don't take anything else for less. I mean,
Yes,
true.
it's the
And
truth.
so sometimes you just need that person that believes in you. Even in my business, I have to believe in my people before they believe in themselves. So from the moment I met Elsa, I think we had a 15-minute conversation. And I said, "You're my girl, you're my lady, you're my person.
Yeah,
I want to work with you."
yeah,
And it's because I'm a person that goes by my gut feeling, and it's usually right. And most of us would probably say that if we really are in tune with our gut, it's right. So the big moment, Elsa, was when I started acting as a leader, and before that person really, really took off, but was starting to, I was invited to the inner circle of my CEO. And was put on what we call the PAC team. So it's mentors in action is what it is in our company, and he values our input, and I never thought he would value my input. And Elsa knows him. So that was I mean, I remember that being like, I've made it to the big leagues. I told my husband, I'm not in the minor leagues anymore. I've made it to the big leagues because that is truly was very important to me, was to play a role in our company in leadership and to be respected as such. And I know I've earned that. I know I'm worthy of that. And Elsa has helped me understand that within myself and be okay with it and not second guess it
yeah,
because of my age or my background.
yeah.
Um, so anyway,
Yeah, and that, you mentioned something that I did forget about, but which is the reason why I asked you to follow a specific marketing plan for your business. Is there was a tendency in, Lynn's company to follow certain people and the way that they posted and the way that they built, and it just was so foreign to Lynn. It just didn't seem natural, and I said, because I mean, and I'll say that there's more to it, but if I say what we really said, then
yeah,
yeah. So I'm just going to say that,
I'll
and
say it.
no, no, no.
I'll say
I
it.
just say that it was not in alignment with who she is. Like, she wasn't ever going to be that person. And I just said to her, you've just got to be you. You are a naturally strong leader. You're someone who naturally talks around business. You can comfortably talk about, high level topics, because this is naturally who you are. You're not meant to be someone that's meant to be make cooking meals and doing that on a live. And this is where this was all going. And I said, because that's not your brand. And I said, and just because certain people are building this way doesn't mean that you have to build this way. So again, a lesson for all of you is, to know your brand, know who you are, know what is naturally you, and stick with that, right? Because that's what I was bringing Lynn to, is back to center, right? Bringing her
Yes.
back to center to who she was, as
Right.
opposed to falling in line with other people and the way that they were building. And you were like, and then, people become minions, like copy versions of other people. And there's no differentiation in the marketplace because you're all sounding the same. So I said to
Right.
Lynn, I challenge you to, to carve your own path, go the road less traveled, right? And go down this path. Well, of course, today everybody wants to know why Lynn is having so much success. And it's no mistake that one other client of the inner circle, who Lynn and her work, closely together, that both of them are experiencing the same sort of thing, right? Is people are going, because I had a conversation with her today, and she said everybody's, like wondering how Lynn and I are so successful. And I said, well, it's no coincidence that both of you are inner circle clients, right? So, um, right. And so my point is, guys, is this is a very big lesson, not just in vision, because I'm going to talk about Lynn's vision next, but in terms of marketing and branding of self. It's very easy to go, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, because that's the trendy thing, or this person is winning in this way, so I'm just going to do that. But if it's not part of who you are, your makeup, and not part of your story, you're going to kill your business. It's going to come off inauthentic. It's going to come off, people can smell, inauthenticity like from a mile away. And trust is so important in this day and age. And Lynn has learned that through that entire part of her journey. The other part is vision, because Lynn has a very strong vision and what she sees in her mind of what she wants to build and why she wants to build it. But she never understood how she was going to get there, right? Do you mind sharing a little bit about your vision, like the end game?
Sure. So, number one, if you're in this kind of industry or you're working in whatever it is, or you're coaching, one of the things that I always did was I played small so I wouldn't fail. Anybody else ever done that?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So setting myself up for that from the beginning, um, because I wasn't being my authentic. I mean, I was my authentic self. So you got to understand when she says it's like I was being me, but I was hearing the noise of, you know, maybe you shouldn't wear bling. Maybe you shouldn't wear red lipstick and those red glasses. Well, they might be too much for some people. Maybe you should downplay it a little bit. Maybe you should be a little more quiet, a little more
This is all
reserved.
true.
I am
This is all true.
reserved. I mean, I'm sorry, but yes, and I started thinking, so are you saying I need to downplay myself to be successful in this business? And I was told yes. So I that was in my head for a long time, and that's kind of where all of that came from. But what Elsa has asked me is about my vision, and so but I wanted to throw that part in to understand it's really hard to build a vision when you're playing small and when you're trying to fit in and in an industry that somebody's telling you something. You go, okay, well they are successful. I probably should listen to them. Don't listen to them. I'm just going to say that out loud. And I hope everybody hears this. Listen to your heart and listen. What I've learned is listen to my heart. And if you're going to have a coach and hire a coach, be coachable. So I wanted to say that, Elsa. I just needed to say that
I
because
didn't
why
ask you
have
to
a
say
coach
that,
if
by
you're
the
not going to be coachable, right? So
way.
my vision really kind of started to bloom when Elsa started working with me around my social media. At first, it was very slow because I'm coachable, but I'm also stubborn. And that doesn't mean I'm not coachable, but I have to understand it and get it through my head. So we started working together on my branding and who am I, which made me go, why am I playing small when this is truly who I am? And from that, I started thinking about who am I attracting, like I said earlier.
Yep.
And from that, I said, where is a place for high achieving men and women who want to have the second half of their life be the best half of their life, wealth and health?
Yep.
So that bore me coming to Elsa and saying, I think my branding in my new company is going to be called the Ageless Empire. What do
Yes.
you think? And she
Yes.
was like, that's wonderful. Oh my gosh, we can do so much with this. So I took off on that path of for me, my vision expanded. And it doesn't all have to be like this
No.
at once. It can be this to this to this to this.
Yes.
And then it gets bigger. And then all of a sudden, literally, it's out of control in a good way. So my vision of building a business, a company within my company was surrounded around my vision of helping people achieve exactly what I said, the second half of their life being the best half of their life. What does that mean individually? All different things. So I was thinking of expanding my vision would has to be big enough. My vision has to be big enough to hold all of the people. Does that make sense? Like,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Your vision needs to be
Yep.
that big for people
Yep.
to actually say, I want to work with you.
That's right.
I'm going where you're going, right? So my vision of doing that, then I actually was able to, I have to say this, Elsa, because I know I shared it with you. Um, I told you I held myself back for so long, and I would never tell anyone what my true like end goal was. And it money would be the only way I could achieve it because I don't have the money to do it. And it's not
Yet.
it yet. At the moment it was yet.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm really getting
Yeah.
there. But my point is that when I finally release myself from playing small and saying, I'm going all in and I'm out there and I don't care what anyone else thinks, I truly don't. People can say whatever they want now and it will not affect me because I know where I'm going and I know I'm going to get there. And that's like, I promise you, I had this inside of me. Also help me unleash it. But would you like me to tell like my end goal
Yeah.
of what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
truly want to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
This is your stage.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, I told you all that I lost my daughter when she was 23. And she was in California. I happened to be out there with her for 2 weeks right before she died. And when I left, I didn't know it was going to be the last time I saw her. But the last thing we did together was we went out to this beautiful place in San Diego called, if anybody knows San Diego, it's called Sunset Cliffs. And we spent the entire evening out there taking pictures, laughing, like a day I hadn't spent with her in years. And unfortunately, 7 days later, she was gone. And her husband and I went out and spread a bunch of her ashes in that area because it's the last place we were really together. And he and her enjoyed that area as well. And so when we were spreading her ashes, I spun around and there's a street right behind there with houses, and there's this beautiful house. And I stood there and I spun back around and I looked out at the ocean and I spun back around and I looked at that house. And all I could think about was someday, my last days, I want to be living in that house, enjoying that sunset with her every night because that was the last sunset we saw. Now, some people might say, that, it doesn't matter.
No,
That's what I want.
I
And to
so see
even
that.
say that that's what I want, I couldn't say that out loud. And the reason I couldn't say it out loud was because if I failed, I was failing her. And that is not what I'm going to do. I will never fail myself or her, no matter what happens. So um, if I work every day with that vision in mind, I have a picture, of her right over I'm looking at her right now. If I achieve that, and that is how I spend my last days in that home with that sunset, wonderful. And that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm going to do. And that's where I will be. And I have no doubt in myself that I'll be able to achieve it. And things started falling into place. Literally, the minute I said that out loud, all of a sudden, the business I'm in, some of you were there in LA. It got we were sold. And I went, oh no, and also, what did you say, Elsa? Everything falls apart right before the level up. So
Yep.
that was falling apart. And I was thinking, where's my place? What am I going to do? Now I'd already gotten to the point where I know my vision, I know where I'm going. And then bang, that happened. And guess what? That's fallen apart. That has fallen apart. All of that happened that I was so worried about, I just stuck with it. I kept growing. I was like, I'm going to move through this no matter what happens. We are going forward. We're going forward. Now that's kind of fallen apart. And I think Elsa's probably going to ask me, tell him what's happening now, Lynn. I don't know what's
Yeah.
next, but that's my vision. And I promise you, if your vision is like this, there's only a few people that can fit in that vision with you.
Yep.
How many people are now in my organization that know my story and know what I want me to achieve that
Yeah.
as much as they want their own dreams to come true? And that's powerful. But they wouldn't, if I hadn't said it and then I tell everyone that's what I want, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to help you do that.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to help you do that.
I can so relate to that too, Lynn. When I started telling people I want to make so much money so I can give it away, um, and because that is the absolute truth, right?
Yeah.
I want to give it away. I mean, that's just, oh, there's some things that I see acts of philanthropy that I go, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm going to be doing. And so when you're
Yeah.
absolutely sure about where your end game is at, and you start
Hmm.
talking about, when I say building a $10 million company, I now think 10 million is too small
Yeah.
because I'm already at 3 million. I'm thinking, God, I'm limiting myself. I should just go for 100,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so, and so this is the thing, guys, is that you just never ever know. And from that Los Angeles, which was March of last year. So we're not even talking, 12
Yeah.
months. You now lead an
Right. Oh
organization of
my gosh. It was
200,000.
it was only that. You're right. Wow.
Less than
Oh,
12
sorry.
months, you're leading an organization of 200,000 people, right?
Yeah.
New challenges, like new level, new devil, right?
Mm.
And I can't even remember the inner circle questions. I'm just going to randomly ask you other questions just around you and your leadership, right? Um, so one thing that I do want to ask you, because honestly, I say this to people, and I think sometimes people look at me as if I've got two square heads when I say this, but could you have confidently have predicted when you started in network marketing? I mean, it could be even in coaching. It could be, some of my clients are owners of fitness, some are real estate, etc. So this
Right.
question applies for anyone, right?
Right.
Could you have confidently predicted when you started, or when you hit rank six, or when you wanted to quit, how you were going to end up leading a 200,000 people organization that's global?
No. The answer is no. Um, at that point, no. I was just trying, literally, this sounds so cliche, but I was just trying to I was trying to keep my head above water so I would want to stay.
Yep.
I was trying to find a path for to give myself the opportunity for whatever was going to come. And that was a struggle bus to be on. And it certainly wasn't leadership. You have to lead yourself first. I don't care what your industry is. I mean, even in life, we have to lead ourselves first. So, um, I think for me, it was um, finding or taking on that responsibility of having these people. Um, it was quite a transition.
Yeah.
It was quite a transition for me to think about small ball, and I had I had about 12 promoters, and they were all, I didn't have any really big hitters or anything at that point.
And
And
now
then all
you've
of a
got
sudden,
this. You've
yeah,
got,
all of a
and you're
sudden it's
building
like
to
they're out of the
17.
woodwork.
And now,
Right.
you've got to build a business of 17 million. Well, that you're working towards 17 million in sales.
Yeah.
Um, and
Right now, I mean, my business right now is doing about 350 to $400,000 a month in sales. And that's huge. So some companies don't do that in a year. And so I have to say this. I mean, has anybody ever watched Shark Tank? And they go, well, we got $25,000 in sales, and I never even gave myself credit for when I was doing 40, 50,000 a month in sales, because it never equated to me, right,
a
of the success
success.
of that. Hmm.
Yes. That's why I always
Yep.
say be grateful for where you are right now. Because one day
Yeah.
you're going to look back and go, wow, like, look how much I didn't value myself. But that level got you to where you are today. Like all these different levels, they were all stepping stones. You couldn't have got there without having all those different versions of you,
Right.
right?
100%. And I wouldn't have, I'm not a master yet. I'm like I said, mastery. That's the where you can go, to be expected.
Yeah.
I'm getting there closer
Yeah.
and closer and closer and closer.
Hmm.
But I never dreamt that I would be where I am right now. That is with all sincerity from my heart and from what's unfolding right now into my business, and my future is, I don't even think 1.7 million a year is, I think that's
That's
small.
more. I mean, without giving too much away, because
Yeah.
these
Yes.
interviews are really high level, but to give people an understanding that literally, Lynn, less than 2 years ago you were going to quit,
Mhm.
right? Less than 2 years ago, Lynn wasn't marketing to her to her leadership, to what she wanted to call in. Like as soon as she started marketing in her leadership and stepped away from what people were telling her to do and moved into positioning herself as a category of one, she attracted firstly this person in Texas who blew up, as she said. Like it literally blew up her business. And from there, it's just been like, bloop, 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 bloop. It's like one, bloop, 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 right? And these are all people that she once had, as part of her boardroom, like her preferred list of people. And so
Yeah.
here's my thing, guys. You may be where you are today. You have zero idea where you're going to be in 6 months, where you're going to be in 12 months, where you're going to be in 2 years. I mean, who here, who is not where they want to be, would want to have a $300,000 per month in sales business, right? In 2 years' time. Exactly. So, what if I was to say to you that all those moments where you doubt yourself and you think that, hey, I'm not working, this is not working, people are not going to, pardon me, all of these moments are literally holding you back, right? They're holding you back from seeing the bigger picture. And every one of you on this Zoom is literally playing at a much higher level than most people out there, which
Hmm.
is why you naturally stand out. But you don't see that. Like Lynn didn't see her greatness until she can now look back and go, wow, like I never saw that.
Right.
So Lynn, like, I mean, I know that you've always been an advocate for the inner circle. You've been on Zooms.
Mm.
Um, you've always, you've implemented. So I know that you're an advocate for the program. So I
Yeah.
just want to ask you just a couple of final two things. So
Okay.
one around the inner circle. Like if you were to for because we've got quite a few new people coming in and we've also got people that are looking at the program and we've
Mhm.
also got people that have just started. Like if and even for those that have been here for some time and want to reignite their business or continue on and they're facing challenges like or doubting themselves like you once did.
Mhm.
Because you're now on this, I can't, I don't even think momentum is the right word. It's this acceleration that is just most people dream
Right.
about, right? But so you're in a very unique position right now. But my point is that you once upon a time you weren't earning, more than $3,000 to $4,000 a month, and now you're here. What would and most of that shift? I mean, I can't take all the credit. Right? But I know it's played a
You
big
take
part in
quite
your
a bit
role.
of
Yeah, the inner circle's played a
it.
big role in this,
Yeah.
right? So, what would you say to people? Just one or two things that you think, hey, if you're in here, this is what I did, this is what I would do if I were you.
Well, number one, like I said, if you're going to pay for coaching, be coachable. But I think there's a lot actually, Elsa, but um, we get in our businesses, I think in our industries, whatever that might be, and we look at people that are successful and maybe we try to duplicate what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think working with the inner circle and working with you directly, um, I was able to identify that. And I didn't see it when I first started. Like I said, all I heard was, hey, you're too much. Um, so I would say, there's a lot. Number one, take it all seriously, um, because it can absolutely change in one day. Literally, just like life, your business can change in one day with one person. Um, I would think what I learned here when I first started was accountability for myself as well. Like it was a commitment beyond my business. And some days I thought I was busy back then, by the way. But I didn't think I had time for all of the extras that were given to me or provided in the inner circle. And so if I were being honest, and Elsa knows this, I don't have to admit it. She knows that I probably took about 25% or 30% the first year and tried to implement it. And I was picking this and picking that. And that's, I mean, the variety of things I learned I started implementing the things that she said implement, and I did do that. And so
Yep.
little by little, better by better, bigger by bigger, I got closer and closer to finding me again. So I don't know what drove each and every one of you to join. It's probably a day you're going to say it was the best thing I ever did because I'm very grateful to the person that introduced me to Elsa. Um, and we're still friends. We're still in the same company. But I'm grateful that she introduced me. I'm grateful that I said yes. Be grateful that you said yes is one thing.
Yeah.
I became. I'm grateful I said yes to my industry. Be grateful you say yes to the coaching because we don't always get it in the industry we're in. If you're starting your own coaching business, obviously, there's no you're at the top right here with her,
Yep.
working with her. So there's a lot, but I mean, what would I say? Lean in.
Yeah.
Lean in. Don't fear that the direction you're going is the wrong direction
Yeah.
because dang it, if I'm on the road and I took a wrong turn, I'll just do a loop-de-doo and come back and do it over again.
Yeah.
And so there's no ceiling to what you can learn here. And
No.
what I also want to say is that as a mentor and a coach, um, if you're working with some people, you would never have any direct access to them. And I know that Elsa is very communicative, and that was very important to me because there were times I was like, I need help right now.
Yeah.
And I'm in the US and she's in Australia, and I knew that, but I would wake up the next morning with my inbox with a reply, and that's
Yeah.
super duper important.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
You've always reached out whenever there's something sticky. You go, hey, I need help with this.
Yeah.
Um,
Or your opinion, or
yeah.
are you hearing what I hear?
Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
that's big.
And
And
one
and the
thing,
ability to have these kind of
yeah.
Zooms where she says, "What questions do you have? Come off mute. Let's have a discussion." That doesn't happen often either with coaching.
No,
And having other people around you knowing that they're going the same thing as going through some of the same things and learning the same things that you are. Um, it's a sorority.
it is. And one thing that Lynn does very, very well, and I think you can all take a leaf out of Lynn's book, and I mean this sincerely. When she has time, she does this, but at the very minimum, she comes prepared, right? So what she does is typically a day or two before her scheduled one-on-one, she will give me bullet points of what she wants to talk, what she needs help with on the call. So she said, "This is what I need help with on the call." And so on the call, we already know what we're going to be working on.
Yeah.
And the 48-hour notice gives me time to put some strategy together before the call. Just so you know, she does this. Even leading this organization, she actually does this. Um, and sometimes it's like really, really long in the WhatsApp, and sometimes it's just bullet points. I don't, or she'll voice note me and say, "Hey, don't have time to write it. This is my voice note. This is what I want to talk about."
Yeah.
Or if she's got something happening in her business, she'll say, "I experienced this, and I was wondering if I could get your feedback on the call,
Mhm.
because it's affecting me here, or this or that, whatever." So this is something that Lynn has done, and I think that that's why she's been able to squeeze every juice out of my mentorship to get her to where she is right now. Um, and so so that's in regards to the inner circle, and in regards to you, right? Um, so you have faced it all. You faced people saying to you that you're too much. I remember that day when you told me that, and I went, "What are you talking about?" She said, I was told from such and such person that, my jewelry, my red glasses, it's just too much." And I said, "But that's you. That's your personality." So she's had that said to her. She's also
I
had
dress
people,
the way I
the way
dress,
she dresses, because of her
dress
age as
down.
well, because of her age as well. And so all of these different things, she has been at the recipient of that sort of feedback as to why she can't win, right? And so, to the ladies that are in here, or people out there, I want you to put your female leadership cap on, Lynn, and speak to the women out there who feel like they're too late, they're, that maybe they're, no one's going to listen to them, or, maybe it's not for them, and they'll just, like you said, you were playing small and you'll just do three or $4,000 a month because you knew that that's what you could achieve. What would you say to the women out there who are feeling the way you once were feeling, or who feel like they're late or they've received similar kind of feedback like you?
Do you want my real answer? My real answer is my personality. I'm going to say it. Put your big girl panties on and let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really, that's kind of what I had to tell myself. Um, really, and I'm being funny, but I'm not. It's what would I tell anyone that's out there? So it doesn't matter what age you are. Honestly, um, being, I mean, I started this when I was 55, and I thought it was just going to be fun and I was going to make a few dollars. And, if I was successful, great. I mean, that's sort of how I started. But for me, the wisdom that you have within inside you, each and every one of us has a life's path that we've come through. We've overcome, it's a cliche, we've overcome every day 100%. So every day's been growing experience. But in reality, when you think about that, it's true. So I know what I have to offer, and I would say we all have a lot to offer if we let it out, if we listen to other people. We have similar experiences. For me, being now 62, um, I never thought at six, my mother, by the way, didn't live past 58. So I never thought I would be this age, being honest. Um, but what it's done is given me this purpose in life and really my a second chance, like being a winner that never really won or achieved what I wanted to in some of my other past lives. And I think that each and every one of us, if you're here or you're thinking about being here, um, you've got something inside of you, somewhere deep inside. Maybe you've let it out, maybe you haven't. That's going to take you exactly where you want to go. And the wisdom that you've learned throughout your life can help other people, whether no matter what business you're in, to achieve what they want. So being kind of a mentor to everyone I meet by just listening to them, be a great listener. Just be a great listener. When you hear what you hear, you might be able to help someone. And that's how I've gone from everything that I've done. It's just being very authentic when I want to help someone. I don't know, Elsa, there's a lot, I guess, but don't stop. You deserve to achieve everything you want. You deserve, and I mean this, like you deserve everything you want.
Yep.
There's nothing in your life, I don't care what happened in your life, we all deserve it.
Yep.
And if you're my age, like I said, second half of life, Elsa, how old are you?
52.
50? You're
Yeah.
like that right there, right? The second half of her life is without a doubt
The best.
the best half of her life, and it's going to get better and better.
Yeah.
So when we think about it as that end game, a better and better instead of going down the hill the way we're supposed to when we're aging, go up the hill. You can get up there.
Yeah. And so if people wanted to connect with you, Lynn, like maybe they just want to follow your inspirational posts, because Lynn is someone that has done things. As you can see, in 2 years, she's gone from three to $4,000 a month, and now she's leading a global organization of 200,000 people and generating 300 to $350,000 in sales per month. I mean, that's into guys. You have no idea when you literally allow. things to unfold as opposed to trying to control it, which, by the
Yeah.
way, if I can say, that was the flavor of my conversation with her in March of last year.
Yeah.
That was exactly the conversation. I said, I want you to just humor me. What if you could just let it be and just let it just happen? What if you could just understand that this is the way it's meant to go? This is the
Mhm.
way things are meant to happen for you. And rather than trying to see, A plus B equals C, why can't you just see A and just appreciate for where you are right now and just see where the B comes up, right? And it may not be where you think right now, but that's the way it's meant to go. And she allowed that. She took on that advice. She literally came to LA to see me one on one for a 20-minute conversation. That was literally the main reason. And that 20-minute conversation, she walked away from there and it totally changed her life because she when she said become coachable, she actually allowed it to happen and unfold, which is where she's at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so where could they follow you, Lynn? Can you just give like a couple of your social
Sure.
media handles?
Sure. Well, I'm Lynn Knowles, and it's Lynneknowles.
Yep.
So I'm across the board, Lynn Knowles. That's my brand. I'm me. And that was a very confusing thing as well, Elsa. Remember
Yeah.
when you finally said you need to get verified, everything needs to be you,
Yep.
because if your business, something happens, or you want to go do a bunch of other things, that you are your brand.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
so it's Lynn Knowles, but you can, I usually have a tagline of the ageless empire along with it.
Yes.
So TikTok, um,
Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram.
Yep.
And if I was coachable, I'd be listening to Elsa and I would be on LinkedIn more. But we're gonna find, guess what? This is the best part of all of this and being at this level now is that I can have some assistance. I don't have to do it all myself.
Yeah.
And that's was always one of my goals too. I used to tell everybody when you see and I don't have one officially yet, but when you see my assistant walking around with me, I've made it.
Yeah.
So that's a goal. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? To have actually some
No,
help.
no,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah,
Okay. So final thing for all the ladies on the Zoom, like for them to take away. Give me a Linism.
ooh, I just really had a great one. Um, that I don't know where it came from out of nowhere, and I can't even quote myself because sometimes we do so many things we don't quote ourselves, but I will tell you a Linnism. Hmm. Um, God, what do you put me on the spot with
I
this
know.
one?
I mean,
No, it's okay. I mean, my brain was going in a whole different direction.
yeah,
Navigate the negative and celebrate the positive.
yeah, that's it. That's brilliant. And that is excellent advice, by the way. If
Life and business
Yeah,
always. Yeah.
100%. And I can tell you one final thing, if I can say, Lynn
Mhm.
focuses on what she needs to do. That's it. She doesn't take on any shiny object syndrome. She
Mm-mm.
she she really has that zeroed in, and she absolutely does the things that move the needle in her business every day. That is priority. Nothing else takes priority than that. And if you
Yeah.
want to know, that is 100% the truth with her. And yeah, well done. Huge
Yeah.
congratulations on
Thank
all
you.
your
I
success.
I just want to say officially in front of everyone, thank you, Elsa, because everything that we're talking about tonight, I don't talk hype. I talk truth, and that is me. I'm not the hype girl, but it has been really truly the best investment that I've made. And to build this relationship with Elsa and the trust between us is super
Hmm.
important to have that trust. And I knew when I met you, like you said, I knew when I met you, and I'm like, I knew when I met you. And I did, and you know this to be true. And this was 2 years ago. And may I say a couple of things about you, Elsa, that are
Sure.
okay. When I first met Elsa, um, like immediately I loved her energy and I loved like she was powerful and I knew that and that so our energies aligned. But Elsa, when I was telling Elsa like I needed to play down, she would come on our calls and she would wear a hoodie and then she's and no makeup and everything. And then she realized she was playing small. Look how beautiful you see her all the time. And that's not because of me, that's because she up leveled herself.
Yep,
And if and she can lead each and every one of us to that. Um, and I do
that's
want to
so
just
true.
say thank you about all of that. And um, anyone that's on the fence, if you want to have a conversation with me, I mean, you start talking like this and one thing comes out and you go down another road, but I'm happy to talk to anyone about how this completely changed my business, how every pivotal moment, that one in LA was her telling me, because I said, I'm letting it go. It's not going to happen. I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. And she was like, no, you're not. She said, because I'm telling you right now what's going to happen. And without going into specifics, she said, this is going to happen. And then this is going to happen. And I mean, it was like, it was good. It was good because I needed that. She said, and she knew I needed that. She said, this is what's going to happen. Mark my word. And I went, all right, I'm letting go of the reins. I'm gonna run down, let the horse run down the hill, and I hope you're right. Went about the rest of the weekend in LA, had a great time, went home, and 3 days later, Elsa, exactly what you said just happened. I got the phone call.
Yeah. And I tell you, I say things to you guys not because of being a hard ass. I'm telling you because I've been there. I've
Yeah.
seen it. I've had that 30,000 foot view. And it sometimes it really pains me to give you guys feedback because I don't want you to think that I'm being a hard ass, but I want you guys to win. I want to fast track you guys and not have you go around and around in circles like I have. But Lynn, that weekend, I said to her, "Look, just if you could just trust me this one time, and just know that I've been here. This is what's going to happen. This and this and this and this. And look, if it doesn't happen this way, I won't ever say anything ever again." And she literally said, "Okay, I'm going to lean into this, and
Uh-huh.
I've come here for this message, so I'm going to lean into it." And I'm not Nostradamus. I just have a hunch about things purely based on my business experience. And honestly, it's this is a very big example. And if I could just say, like, Lynn's interview is largely around vision because she saw in her mind what she wanted to achieve in her business. And there were bumps along the road because she lost sight of why it was she was doing it in the first place. But then when she leaned back into it about how she could help people as part of her vision, and then when she started seeing people come in, she went, wow, like I could just go bigger. Maybe I could just build this empire, and I'm going to call it the Ageless Empire, right? And I just said, yes, now, now she's like, when she leaned into that, like, and she stepped into that energy, like all of this is unfolding, and now it can't be stopped. And so I just want to say
And
thank
so
you.
I hope I get to come back in about 3 or 4 months and have a really great story.
You will, you will have a great story. And so
Yeah.
just so you know, interviews like this, just so everyone knows, because week 3 of every month will be a client interview, and it's largely aligned with whatever I'm training on that month. And interviews like this will be housed on my YouTube channel, will also be housed in my free group, right? As well as using snippets of it as well. And so this is why implementing key strategies that I share with you guys and then implementing and generating success out of it will also benefit you because you'll get exposure. You'll be leveraging my network, by the way. It's going to be a great marketing tool for you guys. And I want to promote and elevate as many of you as possible. Just so you know, these interviews are not just done to reinforce within the program, but also is going to be used as exposure for you guys.
Yeah.
Just so you know. So if I ask you, like Lynn went, sure, right? But if I ask you to be interviewed, there's a reason because you've had a particular success about something that I see that we can reinforce the trainings, etc. But it'll be housed on all my platforms. And once my website is finalized, it'll be housed in there as well. So if we could please say thank you to Lynn for sharing her wisdom and also congratulations on her success. Let me tell you, this year is going to be her biggest year already. Last year was her biggest year. This year is going to be her biggest year. And we'll be having her come back as, like what she has achieved as well. So
Oh,
thank you so much, Lynn. I truly appreciate you. I'm
oh,
super excited.
I-
I say this to everybody, but let's go change the world, because I think there's so many women out there that need all of us collectively. And if this gives you any inspiration, ladies, you can start your own version of the ageless empire today. Take it from Lynn. Just decide and just make it happen. Yeah, Lynn?
100%. Let's go change the world.
Yeah.